Yeah, hi there. And these comments are for BL, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And thank you for the email. So, you say, I have the score in my first writing and speaking practices. You gave me 17 points on speaking. And Mike Gonzalez gave me 17 points on writing. So, now we know where I am to start a study plan. My goal is to get at least 100 on my TOEFL score. I want to spend 3 months studying. Wow, my goodness. Everybody's in a hurry here, and you might be in too much of a hurry, but let's take a look here. So, let's say that you got 17 points on 4 parts of the test. Now maybe your reading might be a little higher, maybe your listening is a little higher. I can't remember what you told me, but you're right now approximately maybe between 68 and 75. And you want to get over 100. So I'm going to say, to be honest with you, you probably need a minimum of maybe 3 and as many as 6 months based on where you are right now. 100 is a very, very high score. That's super high, especially given the problems that you have. So what I'm thinking of is, what can you do right now to take your speaking from 17 to 25, and what can you do to take the writing from 17 to 25? Alright, so here's my recommendation here. I recommend that you approach my online course by focusing on the first 3 sections first. That means do the vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar parts of my course first. Do that first. Now let me give you some tips. In the pronunciation area of my course, you can certainly start completing pronunciation practice exercises. If you want, you can send me a pretest. And to help you save time, I will tell you which areas in the pronunciation area of my course you should focus on the most. And study the grammar section, right? So each day you can do this. It's kind of like this, Martha. You can say, okay, today I do vocabulary lesson 1, then I do pronunciation lesson 1, then I do grammar lesson 1. Once you've done that, then you can go back to vocabulary lesson 2, pronunciation lesson 2, and then grammar lesson 2, and on and on and on each day until you have completed the first 3 sections of my course. Now some lessons, like vocabulary lesson number 4, 5, and 6, it'll take you some time to learn those words. So if you want to keep studying other lessons as you study that, that's okay. I'm not saying that you have to stop completely until you learn the words, but you really need to learn those vocabulary words, because your TOEFL score right now, it's not going to be very high. Probably, like I said, between about 68 and 75 points. That's probably the best you can get right now. So you really need to solve some of these basic academic English language issues first. Having said that, once you've done the first 3 sections of my course, Martha, then you can do the listening and the reading parts of my course. Now write this down, and you can bookmark the video, right? And you can watch a video maybe once a week and just remember what I'm telling you now. Okay, as you do the listening and the reading practice test, I want you to take notes. That means using some paper, using a pen. I want you to write down that information. Now, of course, you're using your notes so that you can answer the listening and the reading comprehension questions, but you're also using your notes. Now, this is important. You are trying to write and speak about this information also using your notes. My recommendation is, once you get to this part of your study plan, write 3 summaries every week, 3 academic summaries of either listening or reading passages. Write 3 a week. Each summary should be about 250 words. Now, in addition to writing about the listening and the reading passages, Martha, you should also be speaking about these passages. Here's my recommendation. using your notes, you should give at least 3 to 5 oral summaries weekly once you get to this part of your study plan. So you're writing and you're speaking about the information. Now my recommendation, Martha, is as you're doing your speaking practice right now for this part of your study, record your oral summaries. You do not, and I repeat, you do not need to send them to me, but you are recording them and you're listening to them. You got it? So what have you done now? When you're doing the listening and the speaking, the listening and the reading, you're trying to improve, obviously, your listening comprehension and your reading comprehension, but you're also trying to improve your writing and your speaking, which is very important based on where you are right now. Okay, once you've done those 2 sections of my course, then you want to move into the writing and speaking areas of my course. Now remember, you've already been doing some writing and speaking practice even before you get to this point, but once you start the writing and speaking lessons, that's when you start sending me a lot of writing and speaking practice tests. Right? So hopefully, if you have already followed this study plan and you focus for a while, for example, on vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar, you complete those lessons first, then you move into the listening and the reading parts of my course, you do that, and then you get into the writing and the speaking. Hopefully at this point, your speaking and writing scores will be closer to 24 to 26 points out of 30, as opposed to where they are now, hopefully. But this is where I want to get you. I want to take you to this area. Okay, so you had a question at the bottom. You said, can I study this month with you, then take a break 1 month after November 13th and return the next 2 months, December and January? I think I won't have time to study in November, but I really want to finish my studies in your course. I like so much the way you guide. Yes, you can do that. You can do that. However, what you want to do is after November, before November 13th, make sure that you cancel your subscription with my online TOEFL course. You want to cancel your subscription at your PayPal account. Just find your subscription with Michael Buckall Publishing, cancel it, and then when you decide to come back, you can study with me again in December and January. However, this is my problem. Is I don't know why you don't have time to study in November, but make sure you're using English in November. Absolutely don't go 30 days without doing some reading practice, without doing some listening practice. You should be practicing the language right now if you're serious about getting 100. For example, if you don't do much in November and then you come and study with me again in December, you have moved backwards. You will not be where you were when I left you, and then it's going to take us all this extra effort to try to get you along again toward your goal. So in my opinion, please do not take a break in November. You can take a break from my course, I have no problem with that, but just make sure you're using English during November. You see what I'm saying? All right? Anyway, so good luck to you. I hope that this video has given you an idea of what you need to do to reach your goal. So let's recap what I said in the beginning. Based on your English skills right now, it will be very difficult for you to reach your goal in 3 months, especially if you're taking that 1 month break. But even if you don't, you're looking probably between 3 and 6 months of getting your score closer to 100. Now what you can do, Martha, is very simple, is maybe after 3 months of study, what you want to do is go to my online TOEFL course, go to the 8th section of the course, click on the link, and then you can find out about some full-length practice tests offered by one of my partners, and I highly recommend that you take a full-length 5-hour practice test. Why would you do this? Think about it for a minute. I got 3 reasons why. Number 1, if you take a full-length 5-hour practice test from my partner, the website's called Score Nexus. If you do that, you will become more familiar with the structure and the format of the TOEFL IBT exam, and that's a good thing. So you need to get familiar with what this test is all about. Number 2, if you take a practice test, you can mark your progress. How close are you to 100 on the TOEFL IBT? The practice test, because you're doing reading, you're doing listening, you'll do 6 speaking tasks and 2 writing tasks. you will know what your level is, and you can see how close you are to getting over 100. Now, the third thing, a lot of people underestimate this. A lot of students, they take these mini, small practice tests, and then they register to take the TOEFL test, and they get killed. Why? Because the test is 5 hours long. They have no idea how to concentrate or think in English for such a long period of time. So if you take, Martha, a 5-hour practice test beforehand, that helps you develop the strength and stamina that you need to concentrate in English for longer periods of time. Think about that. So that's something that you might do in about 3 months. So you take that full-length 5-hour practice test 3 months from now, then you can see how close you are to reaching your goal, and then you can make a decision. Do you need to keep studying with me? Do you need to keep using my online TOEFL course, or are you ready to take the TOEFL IBT? And when you take that practice test, you can discuss your results with me after you get them back, and I can give you some more feedback, because even then we may have to readjust our study plan based on the results of that practice test, right? So some things we may have to focus on a little bit more or a little bit less, depending on what those practice test results tell us. And I think that's it. All right. Anyway, good luck to you. Thumbs up. All right. Have a good day.